Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get underway here for the best of 9 grand finals. Nate, I know you've cast a ton of big events. How many best of 9s have you cast?
Best of 9s?
Best of 9s.
Most of the big ones are just best of 7s.
Yeah? We step it up here at BaseTradeTV, and what is this cheerful behind us? It's upside down, buddy.
There is a dinosaur here. So I heard he came with a copy of Brood War.
Yeah, right out of the Jurassic era.
Yeah.
Got it. Nice meme. But yeah, so players are getting their veto set up. For those who don't know how this is going to work, it's going to be veto to 1, and then losers pick. And once all 7 maps have been played, if 7 maps get played, we'll repeat the whole map pool all over again. So we might see Belshire twice. We might see, well, let's be honest, it's going to be like Newkirk and Abyssal
we're going to see Paladino twice in a row, right?
Oh, Paladino Terminal. I can't wait.
Yeah, nothing
we got this graphic set up too. Really nice to see it. I guess they've... this is actually really weird to look at because for me, whatever stats aside, in the round of 8, Gumi bodied Neeb. And
yeah.
I like Neeb a lot.
Dirty.
But it was not a good series for him. It was not a good look for him.
I think Zombie Girl was saying that this probably isn't the most updated stat from it, from it.
Oh, maybe not. But
I agree with you. That was like one of the matches in the playoffs that I was there with you guys for, and it was nasty.
It's also not to give disrespect to Neeb, but like a lot of people on Team Liquid were saying like it's gonna be like an 0-8 in overall score. Like if Neeb actually dies here, 5 games, because that's what's gonna take. 5 wins is what it takes to win a best of 9. I would be surprised. I really cannot fathom Neeb losing 5 times in a row.
No, absolutely not. No, I think we're going to see pretty good.
So, quick reminder about these cheerfuls, guys. I love them. If you got them, bring them back here. Once we're done with the finals, we're going to have everybody just come up. We'll do like a wide shot, get all the cheerfuls in one shot. Pick our favorite. You'll win a Rainer figurine signed by myself and Zombie Grub. So, if you're here and you want some extra free stuff, consider it done. Just make those cheerfuls. And if you are here, they are in the back behind by where you came in. Now, that being said, I think we're about ready to go. First map. Oh, look, it's Abyssal Reef. What a surprise. What a zinger. What a shocker.
My mind is blown. This is the least expected outcome.
Well, we're just going to wait for everyone to ready up. Looks like they're good to go. Zombie Grub, of course, going to be observing for us, so thank you very much, Zombie Grub.
Please direct all complaints to ZG Gaming on
Twitter. Yeah, all the
worries.
SCV fights we miss.
All the SCV fights. If a unit dies and floats up fully intact and we do not get the close-up shot,
oh, I know. I love doing it. Like, you just got to follow. It doesn't matter.
I caught that spinning Widow Mine, the soccer
ball.
You
did. It went to space, dude. It was Wheatley from Portal, man. It was good. It was good observing. But anyways, best of 9 underway, ladies and gentlemen. As we get all these graphics out of the way, we hop into the very first game of the series. In the bottom right, he's sponsored by the folks who put on this glorious event from Ting. Give it up for Neeb.
And his opponent in the top left position, the blue Terran player representing Storm Gaming. Give it up for GuMiho.
Now, this is so sick for the audience because I know there's a lot of American fans who are just going to cheer for Neeb if for no other reason than like national pride. But we actually have a lot of folks from Storm here. A lot of people from the actual team cheering on GuMiho. So it's going to be really cool watching this play out. And I wish we had like a crowd mic set up because you guys, they're cheering like nuts back there.
We just need to have these guys at all the tournaments making these deep runs. It makes my life easier because I am a super biased caster. I love America. I love Neeb. But I also love GuMiho. GuMiho's like my favorite Korean player. So this
Gumi God is real.
Is great. This is great because I can't be biased because I want both of them to win.
Well, wouldn't that just make you more biased?
Yeah, but thankfully it's not a three-player game, so we're good.
All right, let's talk about prize money. First off, the prize pool is, as we mentioned, provided by Ting. We haven't advertised it at all for the tournament, so forgive me for this first sellout moment, guys. bttv.ting.com if you're thinking about Ting. Save $25. Maybe you get a phone. Maybe you just end up getting a phone plan. Either way, check it out over at Ting. But the prize money for this is $5,000 in total. First place worth $2,500. That's U.S. That's not fake Canadian money like I have back at home. That's U.S. dollars. Second place walks away with $1,500, which is notably not bad.
That is a good amount of money. I would be happy to have $1,500 for winning a game of StarCraft. Or even losing the finals.
That's like month's rent right there. That's actually not bad. But the thing about this that's so great, we decided to change it. If you guys haven't tuned in, maybe it's your first time ever seeing the Ting Open or BaseTradeTV, we normally distribute the prize pool as far as we can. Like, we'll make the top less heavy. We'll bring it down to the 8th place, stuff like that. But we have the offline finals for the first time ever. We really want to boost it up, juice it up for the folks that are here live attending with us. So whether you're Snoot, Alive, Neeb, or GuMiho, you're walking away with a good chunk of cash today.
Yeah, it's been an awesome event. I think the folks here at Corsair have been super accommodating. The setup here, the the studio that we were playing out of. Everyone's chilling. Everyone's having a good time. It's very nice, very awesome setup. So big thanks to those guys for helping to put all this together.
What's super sick about that too? What is this? What?
That is just a weird artifact of watching it half warp in and half not warp in.
Yeah, it looked really weird. I was gonna say, speaking of the Corsair folks, for those who don't know, this is like the first time they're running production on this, and I gotta say, we've had hired, experienced production teams in the past. Yeah, this has been great. They've handled it well. But anyways, sucking up aside, we're gonna start.
We could talk about the StarCraft game that's happening.
But then, that's not the base trade way.
No, it's not. So we have the Adept coming up in the natural. There's a probe. Naturally,
this pylon is a weird place. Okay, I like this one a lot better.
In between is a bit awkward, but naturally the probe is going to be bringing that pylon very aggressively. Could be seeing this pylon rush do catastrophic damage, but it's going to be a double Widow Mine opening into a Cyclone.
This is really weird because these Widow Mines will obviously not stop the building itself, but they can hit the mothership. They can hit the probe. I was wondering when it hit. They can stop the Adept from coming to the ramp and helping knock down those depots. Bare minimum you want from this attack isn't lifting the natural. It's actually canceling and killing the reactor, the depot, etc.
Yeah, this is really nice, though, because during all of this, the Reaper gets into that base and sees the Oracle that is on the way, and Mothership Core is going to come up, bring the overcharge. I think as a Protoss, you're the big target. Doesn't look like he's focus firing it because he's hitting the factory. I think you want to hit the reactor.
I feel like that's a big mistake. So lose this pylon, doesn't even get a depot for it. No cost efficiency from this whatsoever.
I think you get the depot so that you can shade in, but in this case, the reactor would also let you shade in, so I'm a little bit surprised. That factory tanked a lot of damage. And now the Cyclone comes out, and Mothership Core can poke at it, try to kill the SCV and recall, but it's not going to get a whole lot done.
I feel like this isn't even worth taking the damage he has. One SCV kill for Terran? Yeah, this is way too risky for Neeb. I don't like that. So
here's what I'm looking to see. What do we have in the main base if he were to get caught off guard by an Oracle? Or did he bring it back because the Medevac's here? Yeah, did he bring it back for the detection? I think he did.
I guess having Revelation's a little more valuable.
He needs to be able, Neeb needs to be able to get rid of those Widow Mines.
He needs to be able to get rid of it. I understand you loud and clear. Never missed a pod, Nate. Never take that up. Anyways, this drop still goes off and it's annoying. It's not killing probes. It's not hitting the economy, so this isn't so bad yet. But it is worth noting for those who didn't see those round of 8 matches. Wow. It was Widow Mine drops specifically from GuMiho that messed Neeb up, that cost him those 3 games in that round of 8.
This suspended animation Cyclone cannot do too much.
Yo, I love
barely comes in to grab him.
I love it. You lift up an Immortal, its legs are flailing everywhere. It's like a baby being held in the air. The Cyclone's just kind of chill.
The Cyclone doesn't really have many moving parts to it, you know.
It's just relaxed. It
just kind of moves around. It's kind of disturbing when you think about it, really.
You know why it doesn't have any moving parts though? Because the attack animation does. That's where all the budget went for it.
we had to put all the pixels in the weapons.
So
right, Twilight Council, Forge. But you know what? Doing all of this, but still being able to get that third base so fast while there are Cyclones in front of you.
Yeah, and what am I?
That is
marching
an extremely greedy move to make, and to get away with it like this is very nice because his Stargate opening, his Pylon Rush, didn't do anything.
Well, but this does now move into what is the new normal for TvP, where a team's going for lots of Adepts in Phoenix. And for us who've been watching StarCraft every day for the last 2 weeks, you're like, this is totally normal. But maybe you haven't watched StarCraft for a while. Maybe you're like, I thought Colossus were still a thing to do. No, it's all about those Phoenix nowadays.
Yep, the Phoenix play, a lot of Phoenix, a lot of Adepts with resonating glaives, shading on your army, lifting up all of your army, and using the fact that the Phoenix actually are one of the few Protoss units that can eat a Widow Mine shot too. The Widow Mine was recently scaled back in terms of the splash damage it does to shields, and it's not the craziest change ever. I don't think that it's like game breaking, but when you have 10 mines and there's that many Adepts all spread out, it's a couple of shots from every Marine extra that you need to kill every single one of these Adepts. So it kind of adds up over time.
Well, I think you brought it up last time we cast together, and I think the best thing is it still grabs that one unit, though.
Yeah, it does still get the one unit. So the key role of the Widow Mine remains unchanged. The only exception I call to that is if the Phoenix do come in any way ahead and they're not super clumped, because they can tank that shot and then pull away in some cases.
Yeah, I wonder how drastically this would change if the Widow Mine could actually one-shot a Phoenix. But
I would love that. I would pay money for that. All right, so the Widow Mines come in. 10 probes obliterated by that mine drop.
I mean, the thing is, Neeb doesn't have a lot of holes in his defense. He's literally like the Achilles heel type guy where only weakness is those Widow Mines a lot of the time. And unfortunately, we are seeing some damage being done through them. GuMiho's also got those upgrades ready to rock and roll too, so if he pushes with Bio, that's going to come in really nice.
Yeah, now, of course, the Phoenix provide great utility with this composition because as a Terran player, you can no longer drop effectively against a Protoss that does this. Those Cyclones, naturally, their anti-air was garbage before, but like you fit 8 of them in a medevac, the Phoenix can just pick those 2 up, no problem.
Well, I don't know. We see 8 Cyclone medevac drops anytime soon.
Could you imagine that?
Maybe with the old Cyclone anti-air, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of stuff that I like thinking about, because like the old Cyclone against a composition like this could have done a lot more, but
it also had a lot less health, so I don't know. Like it's something that was so much more fragile. It's tough. There's a lot of what ifs in StarCraft, obviously.
I don't have my time machine, so
you would if you dated that one girl last night.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zombie having a red flag in. That was a lot of fun. Anyways, we got 3 bases for GuMiho. It's not like he was stuck at home trying to do some sort of weird all-in. A lot of emphasis has been on Neeb's side of the map because GuMiho's been bringing the pressure. But Neeb's looking to finally pay some of that back.
Yeah, great revelation. I think this is one of the most frustrating parts of playing versus this. The Phoenix do find the drop unloaded. But that revelation is so annoying because the Phoenix are so fast. Like there's no like, oh, my army, maybe you can see it, but it can still get where it needs to go fast enough. It's like, nope, he knows exactly where you are at all times. And this Prism is going to make it into the natural. So he's basically saying, hey, I've got a lot of stuff on the left side, and you also have to focus. The Prism is actually warping in inside of the main base as well.
And that's a really big warp in, too. The Warp Prism's going to go down, which is great for GuMiho, but he still has to deal with a ton of adepts first. He almost sieged up too soon. If he missed that last shot, that might have gone away. Yeah, but Phoenix, you know what? The adepts are now protected. If the Liberators come back, the Phoenix take them out of the sky.
On this map, that many Marines dying that quickly looks crazy. With all the body parts flying into the air. Now the adepts are going to make their way towards the natural. This is devastatingly powerful attack coming out of Neeb.
Absolutely. I don't think this has exactly killed GuMiho yet, but look at the income in the bottom right. Almost 1,000 minerals behind just from losing that base. Now he's going to take whatever for actual losses through units dying. Phoenix slipped in what they can. Neeb's going to be forced to walk away from this fight, but the damage was dealt and the damage was worth it.
Yeah, this is an extremely difficult position to be in. And the most important thing is we talk about, okay, GuMiho didn't die. He's holding on. He's doing the best he can. Now the Oracle's like, oh yeah, I can't just reveal stuff. I can also turn on my my laser beam and just fry all these workers. No problem. So the Liberators do manage to come in with those Marines and finish off. But the Phoenix are back in action. And like I was trying to say, Graham, how does GuMiho move out against this when he's constantly being slammed back? Neeb's got his 4th base coming in. He's making the transition to Colossus, Blink Stalker.
That's a really interesting choice, actually. So I don't think Colossus are good versus bad per se in just objective stance here, but Neeb has been a guy who's been very much about disruptors a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So double Robo to Colossus. I mean, this is something where I guess you're going to force GuMiho now to say, I need Vikings, I need more Liberators, I can't keep making medevacs. And Terran already has to play this matchup really medevac light in the first place. So these Phoenix policing even just one of those 4 medevacs is going to be devastating. Might even catch 2 of them right here.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're keeping this army below max supply, which is what you need to dive on the Colossus base, of course. You just keep poking, you keep harassing. They keep you from abusing, the immobility of the Colossus to some degree. And then once he gets to a point where he can actually move out of his base, Neeb might have like 5, 6 Colossi versus no Vikings at all. And they talked about how the damage got reduced in Legacy of the Void. When they buffed the attack speed on those babies, 6 of them, they will light up your army.
Light up some Thrashers.
Exactly.
All right, well, as this army marches, you kind of mentioned the question of how do you move on. I think having a lot of Widowmice to cover your tracks versus those Phoenix, having those in the back line instead of the front line is going to be huge. But especially with these Colossus out, they're going to have extended thermal lines in about 10 seconds. You can't keep those units on the front lines. They're just going to get picked off.
That scan shows him it, so he has to make a big play right here.
Oh, he can still on top of the Colossus if he wants to. There's no force to keep him back.
Yeah, there's not a lot of meat underneath the army of this Colossus right now. So GuMiho takes his bio and he says, all right, this is a key moment before there's a critical mass of Colossi. He's able to focus them down. He gets rid of that pylon. Another one is about to pop right in front of this army, but he's going to kill the natural expansion nexus. So we got 3 Colossi, though. Things are getting a little bit dicey. The Stalker warping comes in right in time, gets both of the loaded medevacs.
Huge catches for Neeb. This was an attack that was devastating for him, but honestly, because that was all the army, now empty medevacs will die too, this still might be like manageable.
I think the best thing for Neeb is that he still has that 4th base. So losing the natural hurts, but that, especially in Legacy of the Void, that is not where all the money is. These actually Marines and Marauders are still doing a lot of work.
Yeah, they're all 1 health. Just use the probes. Like,
yeah, tase them.
Don't tase me, bro. Old school memes.
Yeah. When a Marine has 2 health, doesn't take too much.
Well, I do like that Neeb did counterattack. I wasn't sure how heavy he'd go in with this, but this starts pushing GuMiho back, who is certainly feeling the burn too. Neither of them out of this game, though, because while GuMiho might be down in supply, he is up in upgrades. He's going to stay on top of the Colossus. Expensive units to lose like this.
Yeah, that Sentry not in position to Guardian shield them, so the Colossus pulls back, but most everything does get destroyed. Of course, the Adepts are still a very powerful force. One thing to note is the 2-2 for the Terran player is always very nice. Being on even upgrades with the Protoss does heavily affect the durability of those Adepts, which are supposed to tank all the damage.
So with another medevac going down.
Oh, God.
Cannon finishes up, but a little bit too late.
Oh!
All right, 10 kills apiece. Both plays on 50 workers.
Not bad.
This game has been so close in a lot of regards.
He's putting the pressure on. And the thing in production is here as well, so he can cut off the ability, I would say, for him to make Marauders, but the reason why he's building Marines is because he's broke.
He's got to get out of here.
Yeah, throw the Adepts forward. Got to get the Stalkers out. I mean, unless he can focus like the medevac. If he's going to trade it out, try to focus the medevac there.
Blizzard AI, please, I don't know if you saw, that medevac was prioritizing healing SCVs over the Marauders that was directly under it.
Those SCVs are fighting. They deserve some love.
They're mining. They're not fighting. They're useless.
Meh.
But anyways, I was going to just ask you, Nate, do you think we're going to get a single game in this tournament where it's not scrappy out of GuMiho?
I mean, GuMiho either opens up really far behind and makes an epic comeback, or he somehow doesn't get behind and just wins. He has not. There have not been too many close games without him somehow making a surprise. And I'm like, okay, he was knocked off his third. Neeb got the super fast fourth. And the GuMiho's like, all right, punch it, and moves straight across the map, straight into the heart of Neeb's base, getting all the way to his production.
I love this
and
statement out of you.
It's scrappy.
Because it does follow this first game where you said, like, there's not going to be any bias.
Yeah.
And in both situations, you just kept GuMiho winning, no question.
To be fair, the only games I've seen of him, he got super far behind and then came back and won.
Yeah, this tournament has been nuts with GuMiho.
If
you guys
didn't
missed
see the series, his series against the Live yesterday is probably one of the best TvTs I've seen in a very long time.
Well, Colossus can do what they can. The Force is actually going to work against Neeb a bit awkwardly. He can break them, but this Widow Mine's waiting, and that hits the sentries.
Ooh, that Mind Splash. I mean, being able to survive a bit of the AoE is very nice. That was a big part of that Mind nerf, but the Colossi are still intact, getting that damage in, and Neeb gets a little bit of breathing room now as he pushes this back. It looks like there's another drop coming in just outside the natural. Oh, no, it's a run by.
It's a walk by.
They sent the Olympic squad in to get to that natural expansion mineral line.
Neeb did put some cannons down, which is kind of nice. It's weird to see him pull away from the cannon, though. I'm not...
Yeah, if you're going to run your probes to the place with the cannon or without the cannon, usually I'd pick the cannon.
Yeah, me too. But, okay, so this still, I don't think screws Neeb over. Down to 40 workers. That income difference, I think, is made through mules, not through bases mining.
Nice.
How many medevacs did that this game, Summergo? Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah. When you don't get to make many in a matchup, that's rough. But he still does have one or two here and there, so he's going to continue with some drops. And these are definitely catching Neeb off guard.
It's such an important thing to point out with the medevacs as well, because as a Terran versus Protoss, you know, your bare minimum that you need like 4 medevacs with your army to be able to tango.
At least.
But you obviously want to get up to like 6 or 8, but you also need liberators to help fight against these big armies in those head-to-head engagements.
On that note, look at GuMiho's gas. I don't know if he took his extra gases, or maybe he's only taking them recently. Like, he has seriously got no gas to work with.
That's actually really weird. I guess the side effect of having to pull his SCVs around from his bases so much, maybe he didn't set them back to mining gas. Get some mothership core. He's just going to, like, he's just doing these. You talk about the low medevac count, Rifkin. He's just doing run-bys with Terran.
He's doing wind sprints. He doesn't need medevacs. Nobody needs to fly.
It's like, I don't care if by the time you reach my army, everything's at 20% health. I will still kill a few of you before I go down.
It's really intriguing to me, though. GG, GuMiho.
Good God.
I was going to say, though, it's really interesting, though, watching Neeb prioritize Stalkers. I think you definitely want some. Catch the medevacs, deal with the Liberators. But we didn't see, like, I think, any Adepts warped in for the longest time. And maybe, I'm like saying maybe that would have been better. I actually don't even know. What is this?
We got some Neeb fans.
Some big old gangly Neeb fan.
Yeah, some really tall Neeb fan.
Shout out to Jesse. He's been absolutely having a lot of fun with this event, guys. That's what I love to see, that passion out of the sponsors, right? But as we said, it is going to be loser's pick. So Neeb will at least have a bit of, I guess, small advantage there. I don't feel like there's any map in this pool that is so broken for Terran versus Protoss, but there are definitely ones that will give advantages. Neeb, please sign my left nostril.
My left nostril.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fear Dragon, saving esports, 99% useless facts guy at a time.
Yeah, there you go.
Proxima coming up next. Proxima coming up next.
Proxima Station's a fun map. You can do a lot of weird stuff on this map.
I like this map too in terms of I can see these guys going the distance 4 bases on this. I really don't see this being like a 2 base all in where the game ends really quick.
it's GuMiho, right? So something weird naturally must happen so that both players get completely economically crippled.
We're going to see like a Thor or something in this TvP.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know it.
Both players will have their legs cut out from under them, and then they will just play the scrappiest game spread out across all the bases. That's pretty much been par for the course for GuMiho in this tournament. Whether he wins or loses, it's always going to be really ugly at the start.
I would be okay with that, though. I think standard games are great, and once in a while you do need to watch something like Innovation pull off the game perfectly.
Right.
But tournaments like this, I want the scrappiest, weirdest every GuMiho game possible, right? Like, again, we are not exaggerating when we say a live versus GuMiho. Like, even if you're not a TvT fan, you will love those matches.
Yes.
Because it makes your
and
head spin.
I hate TvT, and I love that match. So
I'm with you on that one. All right, well, looks like everybody's ready to go. So we're going to get into Proxima Station. It's game number 2 here for the TING Open Season 3 Finals. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. I hope you enjoyed your pizza, and I hope you're ready for some more games.
I wonder how uncomfortable that dinosaur costume is.
You know, it's probably kind of nice because it's an air pump, right? So you got like a constant breeze.
Oh, yeah, built-in AC.
I don't know if that's how that would work, but
whatever. We are just about ready to jump into this game. Some good Terran versus Protoss action.
Well, he's repping that blue well with Psystorm Gaming in the bottom left. If you're cheering for Terran, give it up for GuMiho!
And playing in the top right position, our red Protoss player representing TING. Give a cheer for Neeb.
All right, Nate, here's that Protoss knowledge test. Are you ready for it?
All right, hit me.
What portrait is Neeb rocking?
Oh, it's the Oracle portrait.
Very good. Well played.
Yeah, yeah.
I had no idea. We were doing
I
this on
have
the cast,
died
and we're like,
so
there's
many.
like 3 women in Protoss? Like, who could this be?
Oh, well, I mean, the Oracle, there's the Oracle portrait, the Adept portrait, and no.
That's pretty. I guess
basically it.
technically the Mothership Core. I mean, Mother's in
It's
the
a
name.
robot though. It's like Widowmine. I
Yeah,
don't know.
It's still it's got that one.
Would you
fleet.
say that the Widowmine's beeps sound more feminine or masculine, Graham?
You know what? I am not in a
Are
position.
you
to make
intimidated
that
by the
call.
sound that Widowmines make?
I'm currently in America, and from what I've learned, you're not allowed to talk about these things in America.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so GuMiho gonna go for this, not a scout, but a very oddly placed SCV. I'm wondering if this will be for the factory starport combo, or if he is just trying to dodge out scouts.
It will line up. I mean, think about it this way. It's such a long path. The way this map works, he can't really scout the main base anymore from this path. It has to be a factory.
All right, so this can sometimes lead one step further, and we're going to see like maybe a Liberator follow it up. I'm curious, though. I can't remember if it was GuMiho specifically. About 2 weeks ago, we saw someone actually do old school Proxy Factory and lift it to the main and build Widow Mines. And I sat there going like, I haven't seen anyone do this since Pult, since like Heart of the Swarm came out.
I was going to say, that was like one of QXC's signature moves. Just always, it wouldn't like do a full cheese. He'd like Reaper expand, but he'd just build the factory outside your base and float it in, just build mines. It's very good, very effective strategy.
The big question is whether Neeb's going to realize this or not. What he scouts out of GuMiho's base, I don't think it was enough to really give a big tell.
I think that checking to see if it's a Reaper in this scenario can be useful, because if you just assume that the Terran player is Reaper expanding, based on this, you could make that assumption. Then you're like, okay, well, it seems normal, and there's no cause for alarm. However, we know it's a little bit different than that.
You're talking about the time machine earlier. It looks like we actually did find one, because here we are back like 2 years ago with proxy factories in the main base of Protoss.
It is happening. So the Stargate is on the way. Very normal. But this just sucks, because you maybe want to open with Phoenix, maybe you want to open with Oracle, but if you do, either way, you need to have an Oracle in your base to scan that mine.
Unless your Phoenix comes out first and lifts it out of the ground.
That's
true. I think the timing here is just a little too favorable for GuMiho.
Oh my god, no Mothership Core either, so...
You know what, this is a big note too, because Neeb does tend to play without a Mothership Core more often than most. Adapt goes down, probes die, and he's just going to throw it on the Robo. That Observer's going to come out, and he's just going to have to take some losses.
Yeah, I don't off-race a lot, Rifkin, but, I tried playing Protoss a bit in Heart of the Swarm, and I learned very quickly that if you get a full surround on a Widowmine with probes, you will not kill it before it burrows. It was very sad to learn that.
It's very tilt-inducing for sure.
It is not possible to kill that Widowmine before it burrows with the workers around.
What's really cool about what GuMiho...
Oh, God.
No, Neeb. What's really cool about what GuMiho's done with this, though, is at the bare minimum, this stopped any push coming from the map. You're not going to be walking the depths over. You're not going to be pylon rushing. You have to take care of this at home.
Yeah, he can just do whatever he wants. And that will be a follow-up drop.
Ooh.
That is now supported by Widow Mines that are already in the Protoss base.
Yeah, and they've been trading out here and there, too. If they kill the Adepts, that's nice. If they get hit on the Mothership Core and Oracle, it's better. Oh, he's got to be so careful.
He gets 3 more probes.
You know, Neeb's still sitting on 30 workers in fairness, but this has been some pretty severe
The Oracle can't kill the mine. He's going to burrow.
Oh my god. That actually went off. Are you serious?
Oh, I thought he was about to kill the probe and get the Observer with the splash.
Exactly what I thought was going to happen.
That's rage quit tier right there.
Well, this is looking very familiar to that round of 8 that we saw. And GG.
Wow. Well, there's no other way to put that one. He very clearly thought that this was some sort of normal Reaper expand type build, and he left with the probe. If you see that it's a Marine, that should immediately be setting alarms off in your head, because the amount of gas that the Terran mines is to get that Reaper, start the command center, and then immediately get the factory if they want, or the reactor, which means there's enough gas if they go Marine. They're going to have way more than that much earlier. So if there's no factory in the main base, it has to be out on the map, and GuMiho is a crazy player. He will do that.
Let me ask you, what do you think is worse? That version that we just saw, or when it is followed up with the starport, and you start seeing things like Liberators follow it up immediately?
I think just based on the complete lack of information that Neeb had, that would have probably just ended the game faster. He wouldn't have had anything to deal with it.
That would have been really rough. Well, guys, it may have been a quick first 2 games. We do have 9 possibly in store, 5 at the bare minimum. We're going to tag out once again with some casters, rotate around, and we'll see you guys in a couple minutes after this small break. Thanks for watching.
Hello, welcome back, everybody. We're going to be getting into game number 3 in this best of 9 finals, but I don't know, it's only a 2-0 in like potentially 9 games, but that last tap out, man.
It's a 2-0 that like you think that this is where things start to really spiral out of control, but it is a best of 9.
Yeah.
GuMiho has to win 3 more games, and suffice it to say, the last game, it's like, okay, yes, Neeb made at least one critical mistake that really caused everything to go bad for him, outside of the fact that he never gets the Mothership Core very early unless he's pylon rushing you. But that's still like one of those like build, order, win type scenarios, because even as a Protoss player, that map, or if you're a Terran or a Zerg, that map has probably more. It's Proxima Station. It probably has more places to proxy stuff than any other map, because you could have put that behind the natural. You could have put it behind the 3rd. I've seen a lot of proxies by the rocks outside like the 4th area if you don't take the gold. So it's very hard to find it if you're not 100% sure what it is, because if it is that starport, if it's a mine drop, then he could have put it anywhere.
Yeah.
But very bad luck on his part with the scouting.
Yeah, I mean, it's Proxima. I think that, a Terran player, you assume that the Protoss player is going to play that Stargates, so that's kind of like, probably why he did it. But also that, I mean, might have noticed in the last game that Neeb did not stick around with that probe very long. In fact, in the first game, he left very quickly and then hit it and came back, of course,
because
with
he
pylon rush. Right, but point is, he left pretty early, maybe didn't see that Reaper. Maybe that's something he noticed, because it's absolutely true. Like, you see a Marine pop out, that should be a little bit of an alarm bell, right?
If you're playing versus Terran and they open with a Marine, like, unless it's the worst map ever, and Proxima Station is a bad map, but the thing is, you need the Reaper versus Protoss to scout for proxy, so if he's saying, I don't want a Reaper to scout for anything, that should be setting off a lot of alarms in your head.
Yeah. Well, we are into game. It's going to be Bell Shear Vestige. And in the bottom right, as the blue Terran for Psystorm, he is GuMiho.
Known in many circles as Gumi God. His opponent in the top left position, the red Protoss player representing TING in the United States of America, he is Neeb!
So, of course, I bring up the last game because the tap out. I mean, sure, it was abrupt, and, maybe it was a little, just like, oh, okay, I guess that happened. But it did make sense. Like, he was just going to get continually pressured, and, of course, Gumi is going to have the perfect macro behind it, so his stim time is going to be coming, like, as soon as possible, and it would have been a snowball game for sure, but it's already like, oh, no, it was like Neeb back to before, where, like, he just starts spiraling out of control.
A big part of what's been working, at least, like, what seemed to work for Neeb in the first game, even though he didn't win it, that was, like, sort of the later stages where things kind of fell apart, but in that early phase, he applies that pressure, and then he takes that fast 3rd behind it. He kind of keeps himself in a position where he can control, the violence, the speed, the momentum of the game, and dominate his opponent out on the field. and that allows him to do everything that he wants to do. But in that last game, like, you're not, even if you survive that, like, you don't have the map control, you don't have the presence. If you do get an Oracle across the map, GuMiho's known about it for 5 years already. So where does he go from here? It's both players opening up with, like, okay, you go gas first, he's still going to do the Reaper expand off of it, but that's a fast cybernetics core, and he's building a Zealot?
Yes, he is. So, like, that first game, he went for that pylon rush, but it was kind of like the weak, like, I'll just get a supply depot, maybe reactor.
Yeah.
This is the one that, especially if you follow up immediately with a Stargate, could actually just straight up kill a Terran. You, like, rage quit out.
And this happens every time you try to...
This is like, it's so weird too, because like this little bit of a movement could actually mean the difference with the Zealot reaching the SCV in time as well if you delay it.
I think the best way to describe like this sort of stuff that happens is it's like an Animal Planet type thing where you show dominance. Like, look, you can pylon block me. I can move this. I will build it right next to your pylon as sort of, you know, a piss off sort of move. But it can end up backfiring when you get rushed because suddenly all they need to do is buy enough time for maybe a Mothership Core rush or that Adept to come out, and that pylon becomes that much more crucial in ruining your day.
This is actually, this could snowball similar to that last game, but for Neeb. He's not going for the Stargate, so it's probably not going to end. But already getting that SCV off the command center. The Zealot, of course, cannot take on the Reaper, but that pylon now comes down. The second pylon comes down freely. The Probe actually probably should have survived long enough to play on the second one if it needed to, but oh well. The SCV does die. And this is a question now of, like, if GuMiho has to cancel the command center, Neeb's like, thank you, God, like, I'm in a great position, but maybe he can save it as a Hellion pops out. Didn't expect that one.
Yeah, and this is where the strategy relies on. That Zealot just tanks a ton of damage and basically says, look, you want to display your dominance by building this command center next to a pylon? How convenient my pylon can kill that command center in this game.
Oh man, the command center's got to be canceled, and it's really unfortunate too because like you wait till the very last second, but really if you think things are going south, it might have been better to just like cut your losses or already start building it.
Yeah, and he's supply blocked because when you do this sort of opening, you don't even think about building the depot because your muscle memory tells you that you will be able to build units without it because you're used to that command center finishing. It provides 15 supply to your cap. And even though he'll eventually maybe push this back, he doesn't have a second command center. The Nexus is already done for Neeb. He's going up to 3 gateways. Warp gate's almost done, and his Stargate's about to finish. Like, GuMiho is in an extremely bad spot.
Yeah, and usually, okay, that last game aside, the Stargate's actually a very good utility tool for, like, most aggression early game, you know, without, like, 17 Sim Marines coming in. So this actually should be a very good defense, and this is kind of the pivotal moment. Like, GuMiho is committed entirely to more production, not a command center, so he's got to do damage, and if Phoenix is just simply shoo the medevac away and he can't do anything, he's going to have one main push with tanks, and tanks are pretty good. That's true, but it's going to be a bit later. It's not going to be as much as we used to see on Belshir attacking that third base, and Neeb just has to hold on. He's got a Nexus, and he's building probes.
Oh my God. Comes down to kill one of the pylons, and the other one turns on him. It's like, you know, the Mothership Core went home? It's like, well, what could it possibly be worried about? We do have that drop reaching the other side, but there are units here. The Oracle is here, and since there's no Widowmine to kill all of Neeb's probes in one shot, he can dance with this.
Yeah. Yeah, even taking on the Oracle there. A Phoenix going to pop out. So like I said, like if the medevacs really can't do anything, one main push to the middle might still work out, but it's really not going to be that impressive of a push, especially if you lose the units in this medevac. Like you might as well just take everything back home, realize it's not going to work.
The real question now becomes, how much magic does GuMiho have left in whatever it was that he brought with him from Korea? Because getting behind and coming back has been the story of every game that he has played in this tournament so far, outside of the cheese. And I'm very curious to see what he does.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
Combat shield.
Well, okay, the combat shields, but like, Neeb's going to take a third base? Isn't that like a little bit bold? Like,
I think he's thinking that GuMiho is just going to try to recover. GuMiho's like, no, I'm doubling down. Put me all in. He's putting all his chips on the table.
I mean, he stole the lack of a natural. Obviously, his pylon was still there, but he just must have assumed that it was still in the main base, and that could be devastating, man. Like, he doesn't actually have that big of an army, especially if the tank gets like 2 blasts. Like, that's a lot of his army down.
Just needs to inch his way forward. There's only 1 pylon at the front, too. It's very important. He's going to get this bunker, and the Adepts are going to try to move in on top of the Marines, I imagine, while he lifts the tanks. And there we go. Okay, so the tank in the back is going to get lifted. He moves in with the Oracle and the Stalkers from the front side, but don't underestimate the power of that Cyclone also being mixed in. With the Marines being picked off, though, I mean, he doesn't have any way to deal with the air. Yeah, he's just going to kill him.
Yeah, the Adepts got awfully low, but it just wasn't quite enough Marine pressure from GuMiho. Neeb takes his first win of the series.
With a very dirty build.
Yes.
I imagine there's a lot of baby rage in the chat right now after that one. The pylon rush, and it is such a funny thing because as a Terran, you know that it doesn't make any sense for a Protoss to just pylon block you like they're playing versus Zerg. You don't just pylon block them, take your natural, and be like, whatever, go take your thirds. Like, that's not how Terran plays.
Yeah.
So most of the time, you're like, okay, well, I don't want to build it in my main because I don't want to float it over, so I'll just kill the pylon while it's building. And Neeb says that is exactly what I was counting on and is able to use that to get this win.
Yeah, it was pretty abusive. Unfortunately, though, it's one of those things where, like, it shouldn't happen again. Maybe in game number 9, you know, like an hour and a half from now. But
you don't expect Neeb to do that, but that's where he
true.
pulls out. That's where you go for the where you're from perk, the full NA perk, where he can do the most ridiculous cheesy builds that are normally not that strong.
You know, Neeb probably is bringing that back because of the likes of, like, Hero, man. Like, come down there. Hero has been cheesing everyone all the time, everywhere. You think GuMiho would actually be kind of used to that.
Well, GuMiho's just like me. He deserves it because he does weird stuff. So
well, that's,
you put yourself in that position because you're usually dancing with a lot of weird things and you make things awkward. And a lot of times those strategies can be exploitable by that. You know, having that fast Hellion is nice, but if it was a Cyclone at first instead, maybe that game plays out completely differently.
Yeah, it certainly is. The Hellion was super questionable, and it dies so easily.
Because you don't know 100% that it is going to be a pylon rush, or even just that Zealot coming in keeps the Reaper from shooting the pylon. But we'll have to see how this man recovers in the bottom right. We're loaded into Newkirk Precinct. He is Psystorm's GuMiho.
In the bottom left, bringing it back, he is the red Protoss, Neeb.
That pylon between the Nexus and the gas, it just, like, I know that you can still optimally saturate the assimilator when it's this close with 3 probes, but they have to kind of go around the pylon.
Yeah, it's just so awkward.
It triggers me.
Yeah. I tried to do this once because I want to be a tryhard when I play Protoss, right? And then it did this thing where it bugged out.
And they were going around it from, like, each different way?
I put, like, a pylon and then, like, a gateway or something, right? So what it would do, because it was in that order that I shift-clicked it, it would continuously go in the gas geyser, around the pylon, around the gateway, and back to the next. And I was like, what? How does this not... That's not what the pros do. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, I don't know. They do this because they think people will copy them and they'll just mess it up.
It works, actually. I try and get the triangle, like, pylons too, like PvP, to, like, make sure I'm covered by locals. I always miss it, man.
Yeah,
like,
I feel you.
Oh, God. So, it looks like maybe that's a barcraft that's going on right now. Okay,
Cool.
so big shout out to the Raiders Esports Club in Toronto. I think I was actually there for Kings of the North, if I'm not mistaken. But apparently there's a barcraft.
Awesome city. Thank you for your passion.
They actually have a lot of cool esports initiatives and just their hangouts. Apparently you guys are watching, so hey guys, thanks for setting up a barcraft. I mean, it's like 7 in the morning, so I don't know about the bar aspect, but
well.
What time is it?
No, it's noon here.
Okay, so it's 9 in the morning.
There.
All right, get your mimosas ready. It's all good.
Yeah.
No, but that's super cool.
They're 3 hours ahead of us, not behind us.
Oh, you're right, man.
Stop it, Grub.
Oh, man.
You're making us Americans look silly again.
Hey, I'm from the East Coast, man. I'm so used to going backwards.
All right, well, that Nexus is going to be finishing up real soon for Neeb. He has the Warp Gate on the way. He has the Adept. Is it going to be that fast Stargate again? That's the only question I have in my mind. As we have a factory, a reactor, and another gas for GuMiho, so he's not rushing out. What'll probably be something like Stim, and maybe just see him go for another Mind Drop or some other form of Liberator play.
Okay. Yeah, bit more of a normal game. I mean, Neeb, he did have control for a while on Abyssal, and it was actually a really epic game. Lots of back and forth, lots of, like, gateway units, even the Colossus popped out. It was super cool. I want to see that again. But it's not going to be Stargates. It is going to be straight to that Robo. Cyclone's on the way. Reaper, now just making its way on over. I'll be able to see that Robo. But GuMiho's actually been using a lot of Cyclone drop. We did see a little bit of that on Abyssal, along with the Widow Mine drop too. But he has this style that he did recently too, where just like he actually made like 4 Cyclones and 4 Medevacs, and he just continued dropping. And it seemed to be that GuMiho, like Neeb, kind of starts cracking under GuMiho's continued pressure. And I'd like to see that again.
It all depends on how aggressively he wants to be with them. And I think that's something that a lot of Protoss players still get caught off guard by, is the new Cyclone. Once you've got like 3, I'd say, you can crush a pylon super fast. And if you only rely on like a single overcharge to defend, you can kill that pylon and still have all your Cyclones at, at least half health. So The Reaper's going to come in, get a full scout, and it's a nice reassurance to know that it is not going to be that quick Oracle coming across the map. And here we have a Raven, and we all know how deadly the Raven can be.
They're pretty cool. So a lot of good effects in actually the TVZ earlier. Probably see the same usage. Auto turrets in the mineral line almost guarantees a couple of probe kills if they don't react fast enough. There's going to be a War Prism on the way though, so that Raven might be used defensively at first, depending like kind of who gets across the map a little bit sooner. Maybe a little bit supply blocked for his tank, I believe. There we go. And Neeb can take control without Phoenixes, but with that War Prism, still kind of the same effects. So I still imagine it's going to be a pretty quick follow-up of a third base. But if he sees an opportunity to get his Stalkers in there, like on top of the tank, because there's not enough Marines, this can actually do a bit of damage.
It comes down to positioning, because even that Raven has the ability to smite that Warp Prism so fast if it gets close enough that the Marines can take even a little bit of damage off of it. You don't want to drop a depth straight onto this army. But looky here, the Robotics Bay. Neeb kicking it old school with his Disruptor drops, most likely going to be zip-zap zooming around the map, and those Vikings become even more important for stopping this potential non-stop harass.
It would be super cool to see Disruptor drops. I mean, he was one of the first guys to use them.
Like
really well, that is, but
Raven wants the Observer booty.
it could still be a Colossus. The Depths are going to come in with the War Prism, draw the army, of course, over here. There's no stim, so the War Prism should really never die. And honestly, there should be a Depths. He's really on point. But GuMiho, man, like, he's still building tanks. He's got a Liberator on the way. His Raven didn't use all of its energy.
This is such a nice catch, because with that Robotics Bay, you think to yourself, oh yeah, I want to get a Disruptor, but now I also have to build another War Prism, so you're not going to be able to build that count up, so it's straight to Colossus. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Still gets that third base at a pretty okay time, though. Like, there's definitely later thirds if you're going to build up your Colossus count first, but actually he's going to want to stop this. So I think he's realized, like, okay, I saw 2 tanks, like, you have this Viking coming here and here, and there's a lot of Marines, so you're going to try and push me. I mean, if he has like 1 billion of depth, this might be a problem for GuMiho, but it's actually the Colossus play. So the gateway count, the gateway unit count's not that high, and these tanks into a decent position, it could be bad. I am really glad, though, that Neeb does take that northern expansion. I think he take this third one, and that might just be an automatic cancel.
Yeah, there's a few big things to keep in mind here. If he stalls this out long enough, if the Adept count is too heavily invested in, then there's always a possibility that the Raven, like, auto turrets are good. Point defense drone works against Adepts as well as the Stalkers, so it can help you in a protracted fight, although the auto turrets usually better if you can get them in front of the army, since they can obviously soak up that damage anyway. But here's the Liberator sieging, and there's no pylons pre-positioned, so you can't just overcharge to get it.
A little bit awkward. It is giving GuMiho time to position as well to the north. Oh, that Stalker went down. That sucks, but this is usually not where you're going to see that tank push, so it's going to be a little weird. Neeb does respond, maybe a little bit too late. The Ravens here, the tanks are sieged.
I think you just wait. If the Adept shade in, you just drop the turrets. There you go. Do what you can.
That Nexus is actually getting target fired, I believe, from the tanks. At least one of the tanks is, and that's going to go down.
Do not mess with the auto turrets. They help clean this up so well. Kills the third base. And GuMiho getting himself into a nice little spot here.
That's that was pretty, like, not only lose the Nexus, he also lost some units trying to kind of defend it. I mean, he still has like a decent Stalker count. He has his Colossus, but not a third base. Later Twilight Council, he's not going to have Blink for a while. He's going to just push across the map, and actually with 2 Colossus, it might not be a bad opportunity to, like, counter contain GuMiho, but he's going to try and chase this Raven. Get it, got it.
Yep, the Viking will run off. I think that the weird part is you still have to be very cautious about the tanks that were out on the field with those Marines, because there's no medevacs there. So the retreat path is you have to walk very far, and you don't want to get caught by Neeb, Stalker, Colossus on the field. So he's going to restart that third base, and I guess this is interesting. If there's no pylons here, Vikings 2-shot probes now. They are very, very dangerous, very scary to deal with.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking maybe you wanted to snipe the Mothership Core.
That also works. You got to kill the Mothership Core if you want to land next to the pylons.
Yeah, but that was kind of like the oddest looking hit squad, but it might have worked if Neeb had, for instance, like push across the map with the Colossus, figuring they'd have enough Vikings.
It's weird because versus Terran, all Terran structures are mechanical, and even as fancy and high tech as Protoss buildings may look, they do not receive the bonus damage from the Vikings like Terran buildings do. So it's not that easy to break down the pylons.
Oh, yeah, double forge. So Chrono Boost that. Maybe he'll catch up on upgrades as GuMiho already has his 1-1 on the way. Blink finally as well, and he's gone to Disruptors pretty quickly. I think he stopped at 2 or 3 Colossus.
Yep, 3 Colossus.
3 Colossus. Okay,
And he's
so
going to go into the Disruptors now.
yeah, so
It's a good combo, because one of the best ways to deal with Colossi is to just jump onto them with a big Bio Ball, and Disruptors love hugs, so...
That's true. I love the addition of the Disruptors. I mean, if it's not Disruptors, it's Immortals. Basically, like, when someone goes for, like, 5, 6 Colossus, like, it's Heart of the Swarming, and I'm like, you know, maybe it'll work. But I like seeing the Immortals mixed in or the Disruptors. Eventually, of course, probably going to add on either Charge of the Resonant Glaives, but for now, it is about the Blink Stalker. Colossus Ball, second Robo on the way as well, so really going to ramp up the Disruptor production. And GuMiho not quite ready to go with his bio. He has a lot of tanks. He has combat shields on the way, and he does know to get that +2 air weapons. He didn't do it before, so he'll probably get that for his Liberators. And it's going to be a pretty epic match in the middle.
Big upgrade ever since Liberator damage was tweaked. If you want to 2-shot those Stalkers, +2 is the goal. 2-shot and 1-shot. A lot of other Disruptor shot's going to hit the tanks. The tanks are the only unit in this army that can actually survive the Disruptor shot, so it's not going to push him back just yet. He's going for that collapse that I was talking about earlier, but since the Disruptor already fired, there's not a whole lot that can be done about this army advancing.
Yeah, the combat shields wasn't quite ready either, so his Marines were going to get slaughtered if they continued advancing forward. So the tanks now positioned. They're in the back. I mean, those Adepts get 1 shot on those tanks if they're going to actually go down. That might have been worth it, but still a lot more other tanks. They're still at full health. And he did take this base after losing the one to the north, so it gets a little bit more awkward with these chokes coming with the Liberators and the tanks. And it might be difficult for Neeb to break out. He's just going to go for it right now.
Yep, the Adepts shade in, but the Siege tanks stand strong behind the Liberator backbone of this army. The Vikings also trying to get the Colossi. He really just wants to bait the bio away from the safe space of those mech units. But now with the Colossi so low, once he gets all of these, I mean, the bio can just kill the Stalkers on their own. Oh,
that last Viking goes down, so maybe that Colossus could be a part of the army as well. But this is bad news. I don't think he anticipated losing all 3 Colossus in that retreat, or almost all 3 Colossus in that retreat. And the tanks are still up here. He actually blinks on top of them.
Good focus fire with the tanks onto the Colossus. He makes sure to kill it, and the Stalkers evaporate to these Marauders.
I think Neeb might just be out of luck here. He is down 1/4 of the army supply. And the upgrade's about to finish for GuMiho. You can see him being a little bit just taking the sigh right there. Well, they should. Oh, she's gonna survive.
Getting the Mama Core. That means no retreating back to the natural either, so this base will drop. And there's nothing else. GG. GuMiho goes up 3-1.
All right, so I don't want to say Neeb can, like, he has to cheese, right, to go for the win here, but that Abyssal game was what I was hoping all 9 games would be, right? Like back and forth, super awesome. But GuMiho, man, like he just knows where to hit Neeb's weak points. He's got the drops, he's got the right pressure, and then he's got the right control, obviously.
And I think as Neeb, you haven't had a lot of success with the Stargate. It's been getting really awkward. The aggressive builds seem to be working better, but he mixes it up this game and it just doesn't pay off. That Raven, the 3 auto turrets to complement that big push towards the third with the tanks and the Marines. GuMiho doesn't play like everybody else. It's very difficult to stop him.
Yeah, and that tank was just nasty, Newkirk. But all right, guys, we're going to be going to game number 5 soon. But first, we're going to take a 5-minute break. I think we're going to swap out as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be me and Rifkin back on the casting desk. See you guys soon.
Welcome back. We took a small break there, but we're ready to go. It's going to be myself and Zombie Grove finishing off the rest of the series. So, Nate, thank you so much. But he's going to be observing the rest of the games. So as we get into this next one, it's Paladino Terminal.
Yeah.
And the P in base trade stands for professional.
I was going to say, you want to explain that or anything? I don't know.
Feels cool. I feel like I'm ready to go Kung Fury on somebody.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say Karate Kid, but I guess Kung Fury is kind of cooler, isn't it?
Karate Kid is, I feel like, ruined by the whole remake of it.
It's not ruined by the remake of it.
It really was ruined by the remake of it. Yes.
No, it ruins it when you watch the original again. You just realize that what's-his-face is actually just kind of like a really annoying kid.
Yeah.
Daniel, yeah, like he was actually just super annoying. Like he had anger issues.
I loved How I Met Your Mother, how they kind of depict him as the bad guy too through Barney Stinson's eyes. I don't know if you ever watched it or not.
I've never, no.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Paladino Terminal is starting up. So this is game number 5 coming up. It's looking a little bit green, or not green. What am I saying?
It's a little bit green.
Grim. It's looking a little bit grim for our American hero. Spawning here on the top left. He needs your cheers. He needs your spirit power. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Red Protoss Neeb.
In the bottom right, as the blue Terran for Psystorm, he is GuMiho.
All right, I'd say with a 3-1 lead, GuMiho has certainly secured himself a nice start to the series. It's going to be pretty hard to drop much more than that, especially with the way the games have been going.
I feel like he's got to be bringing back the score right now, or it'll just be too far gone. Like a 4-1 is, well, I mean, it already be over as best of, best of 7, right? So it would be super difficult to come back from. And Neeb does still have a little bit of those issues where just like, he does kind of like start getting into this little hole and deeper the worse the games go. And Paladino, I feel like, so this was Neeb's map choice. He lost the last map,
so
but it's also...
It is a best of 9.
I know.
Oh, okay, you
I was going to say, if it was a best of 7, it'd be over.
Okay,
so
sorry, I thought you said it was best of 7. Because yesterday we had confusion with the players about what the best ofs were. I just want to be perfectly clear.
No, it's definitely best of 9. But I was saying, so Paladino Terminal was his map choice. Now they're starting to run out of maps to choose from before the map pool was reset for sure. But it's still one of those maps where like GuMiho does not mind playing like these crazy action-packed one-base builds. Like he does that all the time anyways on like macro maps. And I'm not sure if Neeb's really like... If he is one that's going to cheese, because that was the game that he won, was when he got that Zealot and he went for the cheese, then that's fantastic, A+. But, GuMiho's also going to be like, well, of course you would do that on this map. That's why you chose it.
I feel that's the thing about this map, too. And not because it's Paladino or not. This is the one map, well, first off, no scouting and all this stuff, but Neeb could have, should have, would have maybe gotten away with a proxy in this game, whereas you can't really afford to risk your whole life on that when you're on your last life.
It's going to be difficult, to do any of those sneaky cheeses, sneaky Oracle play or something like that on the last game for him. But it is going to be 1 versus 1 base, and while Neeb did not go for the pylon rush, he still does go for a very quick Stargate. And there was no Reaper from GuMiho. The Marine is going to try and walk by,
cool.
which
I
think he could do. Like, this Marine could actually walk the main before the depth popped out and would scout, but he's not going to do it. He did see the lack of a natural, though, of course, so that's like they kind of understand where everyone's at.
So not that this was a Reaper, but I just want to point out, like, the way he built this Stargate was really cool. I think this might even be the first time we've cast a game where someone took advantage of the high gas that makes it so you can't see behind it. This Stargate is not easily scouted.
No, it's not. But there's one about the 2 probes. So one built a Nexus, so he's still going to play like somewhat of a macro game, but the other one went to the bottom corner. The timing on this is so amazing right here.
God,
no!
The Marine's not going to see this.
No, I was going to say the probe, he kind of, sort of, maybe, that was super close.
That was like a millisecond.
It really was. Like, that, I'm not sure you would have noticed. The Adept comes in too, so he's not going to be thinking if he saw something. 2 Cyclones, though, like, there's going to be 3 Cyclones total. That takes care of, like, a lot of stuff on the ground. So he doesn't have to worry so much about the ground.
Yeah, the problem is that even 3 Cyclones focus firing down something like an Oracle, so it takes a lot of time to do. As we can see here, it's not really about this Adept, it's about that Oracle.
If GuMiho is thinking like, well, I don't know what he's thinking, like, because again, he saw the lack of a Nexus, so he knows that there's something coming, and he's probably waiting for that timing, right, of like, okay, when's the Oracle, when's the blah, blah, blah. But if he waits that time and then it's like, I guess it's not coming since the Cyclone's out, like this might be too much pressure for Neeb, but then again, the Oracle might swoop in and just kill all of GuMiho's workers, so it's like, well, who gets the better end right there? But Neeb still has his Oracle, I think, at home, waiting for like a Widowmine drop or something maybe.
Yeah, so with the 2 Phoenix back at home, he can lift up these Cyclones. That's not going to be a problem. And I think the Oracle can easily melt through 1 Cyclone and 4 Marines. It's the SCVs pulled with this that make me go WTF, right?
Man,
this is for building bunkers, turrets, or just repairing. Either way, they're extra just meat that Neeb has to chew through.
Okay. This is, I'm pretty sure this is not what Neeb was wanting to happen. Like, a lot of 1-base builds for Terrans are still centered around the Widowmine drop, which is still mostly harassment. But again, like, GuMiho is the guy that does, like, the pressure, the tank pressure, the Cyclone pressure. So that's a mistake on him for not maybe anticipating that.
This is going to suck. This is really going to be tough to deal with. If he could have gotten those lift-ups within the Graviton, or within the Photon Overcharge, that would have been great.
This isn't
3,
terrible.
But there's so many Cyclones.
Well, he almost got the last Marine, so the Oracle could have helped out a little bit more.
I think Neeb's just dead in the water.
I think he is as well. Like, no pylon, no overcharge anymore. The Nexus is going to go in so quickly. Probe surrounds not going to work out against these Cyclones, and the proxy pylon that Neeb had set up is not going to be of any use.
Oh, this is going to be rough for our American hero on his last life, soon to be. GG.
Oh, man. That was what I was really fearing. Like, I was afraid that would happen. I was like, Neeb picks Paladino. He might have his own plan, but I guarantee GuMiho was like, oh, really?
So
okay, like, I'll bring this out then.
Nice.
Like, yeah, like, you tried. You had your thing. It's cute. But no, GuMiho would be, I think the guy is going to be like, if you want to play that game, if you want to go down that level, like 1 versus 1 base, I think Terran's got that covered pretty well, to be honest, first of all. But then also GuMiho has that covered pretty well as well. And yeah, that and to be honest, like the fact that he was on one base didn't actually help him at all. Like Stargate never went in, never helped him at home.
I want to go back to at the start of the cast today. We started talking about like we spoke with some of these guys beforehand, thoughts, this, that, and the other. I'm gonna guarantee right now. I think even Neeb's a little bit surprised by this because Neeb is not he's not naturally like this really big, cocky, arrogant guy. But he said with confidence, "I think I can beat GuMiho." And more to the point, like it would at least not be the wipe that it was in that round of 8. And I'm glad he's got 1 point on the board, but he needs more. If he can't win this next game, it's all over, and that's the end of the TING Open Season 3.
I mean, to be honest, already being up 4-1, especially in a game like that was just brutal. Like came in with like a sledgehammer, like smacked him in the face. It's gonna be hard to come in here. It's like literally like knock knock, like present, but it was actually a sledgehammer. It's brutal. So I think we have so it's game number 6 now. So what's the map? It's gonna be Honor Grounds actually.
All right. So real quick before we do get into this, I do like not to get too ahead of ourselves, but should this end here? Let's talk about what's going on. We still have some giveaways to do. Corsair's going to be giving away some stuff. I know Jesse from TING's probably got some stuff to give away. But we also have this wretched show match that I've been coerced into playing. This weird best of 3. But if we still have time afterwards, I'm sure we'll take on some viewer games like we did yesterday. Maybe do some more giveaways through that. I don't know. But the one big thing for us, guys, is we want to do the cheerful competition. So after the final game, regardless of who wins, GuMiho or Neeb, we want you guys to basically rush up behind us, get up on camera, show off your cheerfuls. We'll zoom out if we need to with the camera, but the point is we want to see those cheerfuls. And Zombie Grub will pick the favorite one, and that person will win a signed Rainer figurine by her and myself.
Yeah, apparently I'm going to do that, exactly.
Yeah, I did the talking, so you have to do the picking. This is like, you drive, I'll pick the music.
It's also my idea, so.
Yeah, but I was talking, so I put the burden on you.
Okay, whatever, man. Whatever. Anyways, no, it'd actually be a lot of fun. There's like I did one cheerful that I'm pretty proud of, and then I never did another one ever again for another 2-3 years, and that was the Wood of Mine for Polt back at MLG Anaheim. That was a long time ago.
Toronto, WCS, Snootiful.
You made that one. You can take credit for that.
Yeah. Death by Snoot, etc. But okay, we're in the lobby for Honor Grounds, and this could be the last game. I will tell you sincerely, I hope it's not. I want to see Neeb bring this back, but he's floundering here, and I don't want to say he has to resort to cheese. I really truly believe in my bones, if Neeb has maybe it's like a no rush 20 minutes game, right? He's got the Adepts, he's got the Phoenix. Like I think he can play toe-to-toe with GuMiho. But that's the thing. GuMiho knows that, and that's why we're seeing him in these games so quickly. He's not giving Neeb any room to breathe in any of these games.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to do. And I was actually hoping he would do the cheese again last game, but I mean, GuMiho would have been prepared for that anyway, so maybe it's a good thing he didn't. Either way, in the bottom right, he is down 4-1. He is the Red Protoss, TING's Neeb.
And his opponent in the upper right, dominating the series right now, 4-1, playing for Storm Gaming. Give it up for GuMiho. And of course, if you guys are enjoying the tournaments, don't be shy. If you're a U.S. citizen, head on over to bttv.ting.com to learn more about the main sponsor of the events. Big thank yous, of course, to both Twitch and Corsair for also helping make all of this sort of stuff possible. But that being said, I really, this brings me back to Season 1, where we had Mono versus Rogue, and it was a very one-sided series. But the argument was, a lot of that was, oh, maybe it's just because it was online. Maybe this could have been different if it was offline. We finally made the offline happen, and we got one of the best possible foreign players to represent. And it kind of hurts in a small way watching Neeb be down like this.
It does, yeah. We have one of the best foreigners represent, but we also have these Korean Terrans.
Top notch, yeah.
That like they still don't have the name like Beyonder Innovation, but they are still so legit and doing so well. And GuMiho is just like in this tournament specifically too. Like he just there's something in the California air or something. Like he is micro god, and he has come back to. So even if Neeb gets into a good position, because I would say on Abyssal Reef that was like the best game we've had so far. Back and forth, even bit of a lead sometimes for Neeb, and GuMiho just did not seem to care. He just wanted to win. So he's like, I'll take that back, please.
I think the type of air you experience in California varies depending on where you are.
Maybe that's Denver.
Well, we're in Fremont, and it's nice and clear over here, so maybe that's what GuMiho needed.
We're like in the industrial section of Fremont.
It's not even industrial,
it's not
really.
Industrial.
It's like tech.
Right.
It's like tech industrial.
It is, yeah.
Everyone's just got like the computer cleaning spray in the air. technically Silicon
Oh,
Valley.
excuse me.
There's one thing our production team doesn't know, and it's just how good we are at geography. Let
We're
me
actually
tell you guys
excellent
about
at it.
Europe sometime.
No. Well, when I went to on Friday before I came here for rehearsals, right? I went to that Korean place that's near me. Of course, I went to Korean place, guys. And as soon as I walk in, like 6 other people come in from behind me, and like seriously, all of them are talking about their programming, their programs, like flipping nerds. But they also are talking about like levels in Dragon Age and how they can replicate that in their own video game. And I was like, this is a pretty cool place to eat. Just like listen to a bunch of nerds talking about building video games all day. Like I could do this.
I like how the start of the story, Nerd was like super condescending, and at the end of the story, it was like a respectful, endearing. Like,
It goes both ways. It's like, actually, I probably shouldn't say what I'm going to say.
yeah, there could be children listening. Stargate is going to be the choice for Neeb, and I don't think this is so surprising. I think we take this back a year ago, and you're like, oh, it really varies this to that and the other. Because Neeb back then was doing a lot of Disruptor play. I'm really sad, to be honest. We haven't seen any Speed, Warp Prism, and Disruptor combos out of him this whole tournament. But that being said, I think the Phoenix Adept combination is stronger, better, and more reliable in the end.
I think it's what got closest to working, right? Like, again, going back to the Abyssal Reef. The Newkirk game where he went for the Colossus play, swapping it up, that does, like, historically seem to really help Protosses in PvT, is to just be like, they got like 3 choices, right? They got like Adept Phoenix, they got Colossus, and they got like Supreme Cheese, okay? And that's how they swap it up between the series. Neeb tried doing that, but really it seems like, okay, that one cheese works, but unfortunately, you know, it's a once-off thing. But the Adept Phoenix thing has actually been doing pretty well for a lot of Protosses. It did well in the very first game that he had a couple of chances to win. And if it does go to that late game, or the mid game rather, as in not just ends in the early game because Cyclones run in, then I think Neeb would have good positioning, good chances. These spawns too, you know where to put your Phoenixes, you know where they're probably going to drop. Should be good.
Well, Oracle saunters on over into GuMiho's base, and production's about to kick in.
Nice, he's the build finally. Doesn't even get the SCV. Yeah.
He's wrapping around. He's really worried about Widow Mines and otherwise, but there's so many Marines out that
Well,
that's not the case.
Yeah, so he saw the build, because, yeah, I don't think he'd seen anything beforehand, right? So he saw that it was a 3-1-1. We actually brought that up earlier. So
I did that sarcastically, though.
Yeah, right? No, but it was the Barracks emphasis build, so the Widow Mines actually wouldn't usually be out, but it does mean that the Phoenixes won't have to deal with drops anytime soon, right? He didn't have to worry about Widow Mine drops. He doesn't have to worry about Medivacs 1, 2, 3, 4 quite yet, but there will be a big push, potentially just, you know, straight through the middle, like right out. Oh, there's a couple Marines.
He was not meant to lose that Oracle. Revelation was going to be key going forward.
Yeah, that is super helpful to have. His Phoenixes still do a decent job. Like, he is very good with Phoenixes. You know, he'll always keep them alive and come back to the thirds of the naturals, and they'll do some scouting for you, but the Revelation's always just an easy peasy spell.
I love that little Easter egg on the map, too, right by the way the Phoenix are. Meat's back on the menu, boys.
It's a kitchen.
I was wondering, though, like, if that's real meat or if that's, like, fake meat.
It's not like the Overgrowth kitchen. That's actually just...
Yeah, that had a kitchen sink, too. So this probably isn't even clean. This is
I don't think this is very sanitary at all.
Don't eat it. That's why it's hiding over there. It's the garbage.
Yeah, like, how do you even get there?
It's not even chicken. You don't even want to eat it anyways.
There's no chicken in space, Rifkin.
I never want to go to space.
There's no Popeyes in space, Rifkin.
Ah!
Oh, God.
All right, Medivacs coming on out. Phoenix might be able to catch them, maybe not. But there's still a lot of Marines walking forward, and that's a problem for Neeb. Even though he does have overcharges, if he's paying attention to the wrong spot at the wrong time, Stim Marines do a lot of damage. These Phoenix, though, are going to catch the Medivacs. One of them will go down for sure, but what about 2?
Okay, he managed to load at least some of the Marines, but the overcharge is there now, and that was exactly what Neeb was hoping GuMiho would do.
He needed this fight on both sides as well. This was a good defense out of Neeb, and it puts him in a position where his army, as well as his income, is better than that of his opponents.
Yeah, 61 probes already. He's going to go full on the attack right now. That was perfect, by the way. Like, he could have gotten distracted by the Marines or thought that the main attack was there, but it was absolutely perfect. Now the Phoenix is in for revenge.
I think he knew so many Marines were killed through that attack. There just wouldn't be a lot at home.
He's gonna he was with the medevac first, but like soon enough we'll realize there's not anything in the mineral lines of the SCVs here. Oh, there they are.
Even if they are, the thing is Phoenix can take that hit, right? Oracles can't.
Yeah, they can
the
take
Oracle
one.
will be dangerous.
For sure. But GuMiho's Widow Mines popped out and they burrowed, so he's not going to tango with the mineral line SCVs. This is just another puts an overcharge. Yeah, another warp in.
Bad pylon placement, I guess, for this.
Little awkward, little awkward. I guess his warp ins wasn't quite fast enough. So, a couple probes will go down.
I would say this is totally manageable so far, though, because yes, every time GuMiho tries to drop, there is no escape.
Yeah. You could like look at the army supply
Oh, look
right
at
now.
that third base got pushed off too while this went on. All these
Yeah,
adepts came across.
this
I was
is-
wondering where these adepts went.
I think Neeb might have like gone with the Phoenix and been like, wow, you really don't have anything. Like
Yeah.
I should just send my adepts over. These adepts do not have +1 or resident enclaves, but if there's a chance this Gladiator was down, I think this army would just die.
But look at the timing. It's like he had to actually cancel that orbital to lift it and save it. Like that's how
Yeah.
bad that was. So GuMiho
This
really behind on his third now.
Yeah, I mean, GuMiho took a chance to get like that one really powerful blow with the double drops and Marines on the left side, and had that worked, it's already it's already game over.
Oh,
but
wow.
not letting that work here, Neeb has put GuMiho in a very uncomfortable position. That like, because you guarantee lose your medevacs when you try and drop a Phoenix playing Protoss. GuMiho has just been trying to bring up that army supply. It's finally back up to decent, not nearly as bad as it was, but.
The weapon upgrades to the Phoenix are really interesting. I mean, to be honest, it's not going to help them kill the Marines any faster. That's all based off of their energy more than anything else. But this will help them shoot down the medevac slightly quicker. If there's Liberators that need to be cleaned up, like these weapon upgrades are going to be very interesting because there are so many Phoenix out.
Yeah.
And of course, they shoot twice.
Yeah, we don't usually see that for sure in PvT, but it is like it's a question like shouldn't it be worth it if you get more than 5 Phoenixes? Like, +1 for the Adepts, about to finish up. Of course, still going for that mass Adept. Fourth base is on the way. Neeb will be behind in upgrades as GuMiho already has his 2-2-1 on the way here. But GuMiho might not be too much in a hurry to pressure. Again, if you commit to an attack against this style, you've really fully committed. So playing defensive is probably going to be the way to go.
This is, I mean, Neeb might be coming up on 4 bases. I don't think all in's the right word, but dedicated is. This attack, if he loses this fight, up 30 supply the way he is, he's going to get counterattacked and killed.
Yeah, well, it's more like if there's like 7 Widow Mines that pop off, that's your bad Neeb. But
yeah, it can happen.
Yeah,
he's chasing in, doesn't actually transfer through.
He does know about the.
Yeah, he saw the Widow Mines, and it's so important that he did. The Observer Sniper is huge because, of course, that was detection for said Widow Mines.
This isn't just like threatening to end the game,
God.
which he might just commit to this. In fact, Gumi's just like, nope, nope, nope.
He ate the Widow Mine with a Phoenix, too. I actually love that choice over the Adepts. These come in mostly unscathed, barely any shields missing. Neeb's way to knock on that front door. Let me in.
Present. I don't think he's going to be able to actually break GuMiho here, but this is, I mean, I was going to say, it's not only pressuring that end game scenario where all the bio dies, but it also just keeping tabs on GuMiho's army. Like, Neeb can get away with a 4th base, double Robo Colossus production with all of this tech. Now especially he knows that because he just saw all the army go back in the main base.
Yeah, GuMiho's even visibly looking a little frustrated there with that third being pushed back too. I mean, for Terran, you've been dropping mules in your main and your natural for so long, those bases are going to mine out way quicker than that of Neeb. So Neeb's not only ahead on bases, but GuMiho's kind of going to get behind on them too.
Yeah, GuMiho is just going to play this really safe, like, defensive style that just, like, you don't usually want to be in, and what, is not what has been working against Neeb. GuMiho is the one that's been controlling the game, wouldn't mind dropping, making a mess up, and that's how he's gotten to a 4-1 lead here, for the most part. But, this game is the whole opposite. Feeling very good for Neeb, but GuMiho is all about those comebacks. Wasn't there... Wait a minute. Oh, okay, well, hold on. War Prism goes down. That's a little annoying while the Marine Jab goes on. Yeah, you're continuing to hold yourself. Do it. Yeah, okay, the Adepts are going to get a couple more SV kills, but wasn't it on the ground, GuMiho versus Neeb? That was a pretty epic first game where, like, Colossus and, like, I'm pretty sure it was you and Nate casting that. The reason I bring it up, though, is just because, like, even though he said it was a stomp 3-0 for Neeb versus GuMiho in the round of 8, that wasn't necessarily true. The first game, there was a really good game in that happened, and it's funny that it brings it back on Honor Grounds as well, where this is another great game. Neeb was ahead in that game. GuMiho brought it back, and then he did 3-0 in that series a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So maybe it can still happen here. GuMiho is kind of the comeback king of this tournament.
That being said, he's still down like 40-something supply, and while Liberators are cool, these Colossus stand far enough away that they're not taking the shots.
Yeah.
Now, the Liberators actually do Shrek the Stalkers. There's not enough left. I'm surprised he went in here without the Phoenix support. That being said, the army supplies have leveled out, and GuMiho's actually not going to die from this push.
It looked like there was Widow Mines off those Adepts, but I didn't quite see. Yeah, okay, they reburrow themselves, so that definitely was what happened. A lot of the Adepts were softened up, and yeah, the Phoenix not being there either.
Yeah, that's exactly my biggest qualm with that fight. Neeb has +1 weapons. He has everything in store to deal with Liberators, but he didn't have them with the fight. He pushed in too soon and lost 40 supply advantage.
This is, well, I do not want to have deja vu because I want Neeb to take that second map, but GuMiho just playing it smart, playing it defensive, and Neeb might be a little too eager to end the game.
Well, in fairness to Neeb, his income is rock solid behind this, while GuMiho is barely on this third base mining.
Yeah. I mean, Neeb just needs another, like, 2 Warpanes, and GuMiho is going to be outclassed in the army supply, but he's holding on. He does need a 4th very soon, though. even with 44 SCVs. Neeb's going to have Charge finishing up and +2,
Ooh.
and even maybe get into Storm.
I would really like to see Storms come out of this, but the charge lots, I'm actually really worried about. When charge lots have +3 armor and a Guardian Shield, it's laughable watching Bio try and fight against them. But that's not the case here. They're actually really underrepresented, and Zealots, of course, aren't going to shoot up, which is a major problem with these Liberators that do have range now, by the way.
Yeah.
Another scan to dive in and pick off the Observer. Detection's so very limited for Neeb. At this point, you got to wonder, like, going for another Oracle might be worth it. I think Revelation's more reliable than these Observers that keep dying.
Yeah, I think it would be. I mean, really, if Neeb doesn't want to throw this game right, just continue doing what he's doing and not take an engagement.
Oh, that would have might hit.
And also ensure that GuMiho is not getting into those sneaky Doom drops off to the side, and that Revelation would help with that. But, you know, GuMiho, I think the last thing on his mind is actually trying to get an army across the map. If he takes that chance, does the Doom drop, and the Phoenix is fine, it'd just be game over. He tap out right then and there. But here, trying to get his Liberator count up.
He's got to pay attention. Things like this are, like, totally unnecessary mistakes. He was busy watching this Phoenix.
Totally.
And GuMiho right now has the advantage. That being said, if Neeb can just hold tight, not over-dedicate, get those Storms, get that +3 out, and charge lots, I think it'll be okay. But I think he might be over-dedicating. Once again, the Phoenix is coming a bit late.
They get melted once everything,
oh, no.
Okay, he's not, like, that looked bad. That was an opportunity for GuMiho right there, but his Blink Stalker should be able to get away. He kept a couple of Phoenixes alive, and he does still have 5 bases, double overproduction, and Storm on the way, but that was one of those things where, like, your army isn't going to stand up against Bio, you know that, right? And I think maybe he just kind of, like, realized at the last second he didn't have Adepts and Zealots.
No, the guy who won the Casper Cup, I don't think actually knew that.
Dude, I'm like, that was all PvP, man. He's like, Bio good, question mark?
Fair point, fair point. The thing is, though, these Liberators are still going to pose a problem because Storms aren't going to remove Liberators. That range is too long. Liberators are getting those upgrades, too, so I'm not quite sure with the armor upgrades. I think they still won't quite two-shot the Stalkers and stuff, but it's still just so much damage out of those from so far away.
Yeah. I mean, GuMiho's on 38 SCVs. He is floating his main base to a 4th, but I mean, when he sees Storm, that might actually just be game over. Bit of a split, but it
still don't hit too badly, to be honest. But he sits there within the liberation zones and eats those Widowmine shots once again.
GuMiho's so all in here. I don't think it can work. It
agree,
really is all about the Liberators.
He's on like 2 medevacs. He floated his main over to his 4th. Like, he's getting desperate for money behind this. Neeb might still win this game, but this was not like a purely perfect execution of it.
No, it wasn't.
GG!
Yeah! Neeb still making a series out of it.
I don't know if the mics are picking them up, guys, but the crowd is chanting Neeb a lot. I'm loving hearing it. Maybe you guys gotta do it louder so the mics pick it up. I'm just saying. But either way, Cactus Valley could be the next map, and this will be the
only map left.
Yes, the only map left, because after this, if we do play Game 8 and Game 9, it will go to refresh the map pool. So it'll be their choice for whatever. Yeah, Belshire, Newkirk, most likely Abyssal, if we're going to be honest. More Cheerful's coming in. Gerber baby food. Why, though?
Why?
Why, though?
Okie dokie then.
What's that? Why, though?
Why?
All right, this one's going to be really interesting. I actually like that it's a big map for this last one. Now, Cactus Valley is a little bit like almost counterintuitive, though. You see a 4-player spawn map, you see big bases, and then it's like a 2-base all-in, like, or proxy.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think there's a reason that Neeb had not chosen this map up until now, and I don't think you want to play on it, really. Like,
it's maybe not the best for when you're playing against somebody like GuMiho, but I hope that maybe he could take that and spin it.
Well,
I mean, he's a good enough player.
There's, like, a couple different problems with Cactus Valley for the Protoss player, and one of those is definitely, like, any of the not cross-spawn, but to be honest, even cross-spawn sometimes. Like, there's the tank pushes, which are truly very difficult to deal with, and there's also the fact that even if you go Adept Phoenix...
Well, I love that you can see GuMiho kind of playing with his towel, like, barely in the background of the corner.
I never decided. But if you go Adept Phoenix, that's supposed to take care of the drops, so because the bases are so close together, they still are able to drop the Marines, and you're like, well, the Phoenix just can't clean them up anymore, man.
Yeah, it feels bad. It feels really
bad. So, like, you actually... GuMiho, I mean, he's got a couple choices, basically, how to play this game, and we've clearly seen he can play any type of Terran, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, GuMiho's having some trouble. So we are doing, I think, a good job now of color coordinating, by the way, like
We got it.
Self-awesomeness to Nate.
Nailed
He
it.
gives us the thumbs up. You can't see it. But GuMiho's having some trouble selecting blue. So, to be honest, if you can't... Oh, we're good.
Yeah, you just need to rejoin the lobby. Another bug to add to my video. I'm in the Blizzard.
I was going to say, light blue's okay. It's blue still nonetheless.
I was going to actually... Yeah, because Stu had the same problem yesterday. I was like, you could probably just pick teal.
All right, well... Cactus Valley kicking off. While we don't have an awesome dance introduction, guys, we do
I'm not
just
doing
have
it.
this being, again, a pretty pivotal point in the matchup. Neeb is in still dire straits. He's still in a grim situation. I don't know if he can win this to bring it back, but if he does, that puts him on a pretty close comeback path.
Yeah, you better bring back the momentum. I certainly think he can do it.
Well, Spawny here in the upper left, playing for Storm Gaming. Once again, one win away from victory. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for GuMiho!
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, he is Ting Neeb.
Neeb. I'm on Team Neeb right now. I wanted to bring this back, if for no other reason, not the American, not the local foreign here or anything like that. I just want more games. I love casting live. I'm so glad we can make this happen. And it just feels like it's all already over so soon, so quick.
It was only a 2-day event, man.
Feels bad. That being said, though, I did like the style of this. We talked about this a little bit actually off stream, where when you have 5 best of 5s or like 8 best of 3s and things like that in a single day, those matches don't feel so special. I don't know if you guys feel the same at home watching, but like I really like that with 4 matches to focus on. Each of these felt like they had a little more weight to them, you know?
Yeah. It still makes, I mean, like it's actually really great for the, I think the live audience can go and chill and relax, and it's great for us to be able to have the energy and not just be tired after 8 games like we usually are casting, you know, anything else.
Not to mention, we're not super stressed. Corsair took really good care of us here, and the last time we did, like, Help's time was an experience, is what that was.
Hell, it's pretty stressful. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. That's what we should have called it.
Oh, my bad.
If only we had known better at the time.
If only we knew. No, it's been really nice.
Okay, so GuMiho is doing 3 racks, and I jokingly brought this up before, but I kind of forgot. There's like, you do the CC into all these barracks, you get great production. Beyond has actually done this, I think, like 1,000,000 times on Cactus Valley.
Yeah, it's a pretty popular build on Cactus Valley, really. If you're going to get away with the CC first, like this is one of those builds to do it. But Undergrounds is also the other one. We did see a 3 racks build, emphasis on the bio units in that Undergrounds game, and it's that was last game. Yeah, I just something got confused. It didn't really work out. Neeb had eyes on all the moves GuMiho was going to do. GuMiho played like a typical Terran that last game, and Neeb was totally on point with it. So maybe GuMiho is going to go back to being a little bit more of a, I don't know, like cheeky with his drops. Maybe he won't even drop. Maybe he will fully commit to the front, and maybe Neeb won't expect that. It is cross-spawn, so it's not nearly as obvious where those drops are going to be coming in. You got to have some good observer coverage if that's the way you go, or Revelation. He is opening up with a Robo, though, so I really expect him to go for the Stargate, but it is the Robo play.
So I got to give a quick shout out to our Twitch chat too, by the way. Again, we haven't been able to see subs or donations or anything like that, so if you guys have, please know blanketly we love you, thank you. But more importantly, people have been tweeting us clips throughout this entire show. And while I can't really often check my phone while we're casting, I've been kind of poking it once and around at the start of these games, and I think we're getting more clips of the people walking up behind us with these weird cheerfuls than we are of actual gameplay.
That's the way it goes.
Just another moment of BaseTradeTV, I guess.
Super great analytical video to Reddit. 99 useless facts. #1.
Yep. Shout out to Fear Dragon.
Yeah.
All right, well, the Robo comes in, and this time, maybe, just maybe, I got my fingers crossed. Warp Prism Speed, maybe a couple Disruptors. Even Nate is on board with the please.
It's going to be Colossus, man.
You got those prayer emojis on your phone? Start spamming them, guys.
To be honest,
make it happen.
It's pretty perfectly timed up. This is like kind of when you really start to suspect the Disruptor is when that Warp Prism lines up with the Robo finishing.
1 prayer equals 1 Disruptor.
If only. Oh man, 2 devs taken out in the middle of the map. But yeah, when it lines up like this, it's like a little more suspicious for that Disruptor play, Like,
I like this.
So it would be super cool. And we did see a lot of success from it. Neeb's been successful with it. Hero used it as well, I think, on this map once or twice. It's been pretty good. The Observer will see this incoming. It's such an odd timing. It's a good thing it does.
This is going to time out exactly perfect with that Mothership Core. Forget the Disruptor for a moment. The Mothership Core almost wasn't going to be out for this push. And well, this is an odd push for GuMiho for certain. Neeb is a guy who has played this entire tournament with later Mothership Cores and in some cases, no Mothership Cores. If that didn't spawn exactly when it did, GuMiho kills a lot more than having to run away.
It's still scary. I mean, some Terrans are just poking and then leaving. Like, okay, I got what I wanted. But he is rallying, man, and he put all of his investment into Disruptors.
I mean, this can save him. Don't get me wrong. There's no stim. Splitting slow and hard to do, but doesn't get the hit he needs.
No, he's going to have to start like trying to micro his adepts with the warp.
Oh, the mothership core goes down.
He just needs a couple more adepts, but his gateway production really is just not there.
GuMiho's
Marines
gonna
being rallied cross spawn Cactus Valley might just end this game. I don't know. I really hope it's not the case.
This would be the most, the worst way to die. Just
Wouldn't it,
slow
though?
Marines, no stim, no medevac, walking cross spawn on Cactus Valley.
It's pretty bad. It's not going to end the game as it is, again, that cross spawn, even though
but
GuMiho's already rallying forward, but it did kill 8 probes.
This is where it gets interesting for GuMiho now. As Neeb comes across the map, GuMiho knows exactly what's coming. He turns around to go back home. Problem is, this is a regular Warp Prism right now with Gravitic Drive on the way. It's going to be super fast, and he's not going to catch that with Marines, even if they got stim.
I like to imagine that Neeb just mumbled like, Tyrann,
We're gonna friggin'
I don't know what he did, but he's kind of calmed down for now, and the pressure that the Disruptor should be applying should also be a lot of scouting and keeping GuMiho back.
I said that he shouldn't catch the Warp Prism, but if you fly right into it, I guess why not? Perhaps he's got a little bit too much Jesse influence in him right now.
Where's the Twilight Council? Oh, where's the other Twilight Council?
Yeah, the Blink Stalker and Resonating Glaives upgrades.
He's on his way, and he will be able to get his third base out, like, even now, really. But I think he wants production a little bit sooner. So, still focusing a lot on the Disruptor play. Combat Shield's on the way for GuMiho, and GuMiho will have to, you know, be very on point with his SCV pulls. But he will want to start dropping soon. Like, he sees what the build is, right? So he knows he can drop. There's not going to be Phoenixers. There's not going to be Blink Stalkers. He should know that as well. Pretty decent SCV splits.
Killing the Marauders is nice, too. That's actually really expensive.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, a Warp Prism does have a lot of shields, so it will regenerate that missing health for now. But the biggest part about this drop is it's meant to keep GuMiho at home. Something he doesn't seem to be scared of. He's actually moving out with drops as we speak.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, there's not, like, getting the Warp Prism, getting the Disruptors, that's A+ work, right? They have to worry about it, but really, if you're just on point with your SCV splits and pulls, like, you can't drop against this.
So Neeb had a very tough choice to make there. Leave Stalkers on the low ground, ready to intercept maybe the medevacs, or pull them back to the main and guarantee respond to some.
Not bad.
This is tough, because he's going to be a little bit late to that medevac party with no blink.
Right, this is it's going to be tough. The Disruptors want to pop out.
Oh, I love that scan of the natural. Everybody knows you scan, that's where the Terran's attacking. So he moved to the natural base anticipating that scan didn't go where the attack went, though. As he comes to the main, he guts 11 probes.
Not bad, but Neeb can still make up for that with his Disruptors. Blink is not quite done. It is so close. That medevac does go down for regular Stalkers.
He'll manage this now. It was a messy, scary moment for him there, but 13 probes dead still leaves him behind. The Disruptors, I guess they're still alive, but he's just been unable to use them while he's focused back at home.
So much more concerning for me is that even despite like that time where he's banking minerals, he chose production over a Nexus, so he still does have a Nexus, and now it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that at 34 probes. So he does need to go ahead and just kill as many SVs as possible because it was a lot of probe damage. And now the Vikings are out. Oh my God.
You know what? At this point, losing the Warp Prism itself isn't so bad if there's some way to salvage the Disruptors, but that's not going to be the case. He needs these to get those backdoor hits as the army pushes forward, comes in from behind, gets the explosions, you name it.
I'm not sure Neeb can play out a long game here, man. He still doesn't have a third Nexus. I mean, he has a decent Blink Stalker army, but it's not even with +1. GuMiho has +1. GuMiho's looking quite strong in this game as he slaps on a third base on location. He's got 1 armor finishing up as well. Not that it matters against Disruptors, but it will help against the Blink Stalkers. And Neeb's got to do more damage. He's got to absolutely destroy the army, given the opportunity. That would help for sure.
The thing is, we're watching GuMiho do splits even with stimless Marines.
He has 6 Disruptors. He's like stockpiling Disruptors in his main base. Like, I'm going to surprise him, man.
You can't miss if you got enough shots.
It's true. Like, he's got a hit, right? And that's enough that they also will not feel comfortable focus firing, too. So
that's true, yeah.
I mean, it is considerable, and maybe Neeb intended to do a 2-base all-in this entire time.
He's entirely out of position for this.
Okay, but at least the Disruptors weren't caught. I think that's better than the alternative, but not great.
But GuMiho has been the king of base trades in everything so far today, so Neeb's going to try and pull probes out of there. But concussive shells say, no, sir, hold still.
Yeah, just start hiding around your main base, man. GuMiho has his third CC going to finish. It's going to help with the base trade as well.
I think he's going to bring the Warp Prism back to try and save this and then get a probe out.
If he gets 2 amazing Disruptor shots, he might be able to save something here. But he does not have enough mineral to build a Nexus. He's not going to have any probes down to 0 probes. He needs to make 1 and like rally it somewhere.
Oh, he's stuck on the ramp on the other side of the map. There's just an A move going on over here, and he's not paying attention. Loses 2 Disruptors for it. Tries to get the hits at home. He doesn't get the hits. GG, ladies and gentlemen. GuMiho takes the series 5-2, and he's gonna be the TIG Open Season 3 champion. Looking pretty. I like that little sort of fist bump. Like, yes, the victory.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool guy. So 5-2. I don't think we actually predicted that score, but
No.
really cool to see the Disruptors come out in the final game at the very least. And they had a lot of potential, man. But that awkward timing. One observer to the right, and he hides the Disruptors, man.
That was a very. I like that Neeb went for it, though. That for me is the Neeb classic build, and I think that was
The
one.
Neeb Classic, better than Neeb Retro.
Yeah, not Neeb Light.
Diet Neeb.
Anyways, we are going to get Jesse back on for a little bit. We'll talk with our sponsors. We'll set up some of the fun show match stuff afterwards. But we are going to go to a small break. When we come back, I want you guys behind us. I want to see those cheerfuls. If you guys made them in the audience, come up to the front. Make sure to win some prizing, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you for watching. Congratulations to GuMiho, and we'll be back shortly.
Hey guys, welcome back. I am here with our Ting Season 3 winner, champion GuMiho. And of course we have translating, I actually don't know your name.
Sunny.
So
Yeah.
Sunny, we have
Yeah.
Sunny translating as well, but I think he said actually wanted to try and speak a little bit in English, right?
He said he would try.
Yeah, you try, he'll try. Okay, so
He's
very
been
cool, very
nervous,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so let's get the basic question out of the way. How do you feel, GuMiho?
기분이 어때요 이거 나서?
Very good.
What
He
I
said he's very
expected.
good.
Right, yeah. Did you think that you would be facing Neeb in the finals, or did you think that Snoot had a really good chance?
지금 결승전에서 하신 분이랑 결승을 할 거라 생각하셨어요? 아니면 다른 분이랑 할 거라 생각했어요?
했으면 좋겠다고 생각했어요.
He said he wanted to face him in the finals. He thought he'd be
He
a good
wanted to face
competitor.
Neeb, right? Is that because you 3-0'd him in the round of 8, or because you're more comfortable against Protoss?
경기가 쉬울 거라 생각하셔서 그렇게 생각하신 거예요? 아니면 나중에 저번주에 이긴 게 3.5로 이겨서 그러신 거예요? 아니면 그냥 다른 생각하시면서?
둘 다요. 둘 다인데.
Both, he says.
Both?
Both
Okay,
reasons.
all right. So, I mean, Neeb's a pretty fearsome guy, right? He did very well in Korea, a couple of months ago. So it shouldn't have been very easy for you, but you still have a lot of confidence. Did you consider that to be a 5-0, or do you think it was going to be a 5-4?
생각보다 경기가 쉬웠었어요? 아니면 좀 힘들다고 생각하셨어요?
좀 힘들었는데 그래도 좀 잘 풀렸던 것 같아요 게임은.
He said everything that he planned went well, and he thought it was harder than he expected.
Yeah, it was harder than you expected?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Neeb's a pretty good player, so
Yeah.
I definitely expecting I think a lot of people guessed 5-2. And that's actually what it ended up being, so it was pretty nice. I guess I think you've been to America before. We actually talked a bit in going away to Korean barbecue, and he was actually at IAM San Jose, so I guess he's back here. So hey, that's nice. So you like America, right? Like A plus, right?
한국
Like there's
여기
only one
처음에-
answer.
야, 저 미국 오신 게 처음이 아니시죠? 여기 와 보셨어요?
네,
예.
맞아요.
미국 어떻게 생각하세요?
좋아요. 올 때마다 그래도 좀 나쁘지 않게 잘하고 가가지고.
Yeah. He said he likes it because every time he comes, he does really well in competitions.
Ah, okay. All right. So it's a bit lucky in California, I guess. And then I guess I have one last question. It's nothing about the game. It is about America. How is our Korean barbecue?
여기 코리아 바비큐 어떠냐고. 맛있어요?
네, 맛있고 한국이랑 똑같던데 그냥 맛이 거의.
He said same as Korea. Just
Same,
as good.
exact
Yeah.
same as Korea. Perfect. Nailed it. All right. You are here with Systrom. Actually, I know that one of your managers is here, but if you want to give any shout outs, now is the time to do it to your fans, to your team.
하고 싶은 말 하고 가족이나 친구들이나 친구들이랑 하고 싶은 말 하시라고.
그냥 짧게 응원해 주셔서 감사하고 다음에도 더 잘할 테니까 응원 많이 부탁드립니다.
He says thank you for the support, and I will do my best next time as well.
Nice. Yes. Coming back for Ting Season 4, hopefully. All right. Thank you so much, GuMiho. Congratulations. We have a somewhat giant check for you. It's big, man. Yeah, there we go. That is Jesse's that says Jesse, believe it or not. It's right there. But yeah, so awesome games, everyone. Of course, now we're going to be doing the cheerful contest. That's why we have all of our audience lined up behind us. So apparently I have to be the one to choose. and crush dreams because this Rainer figurine is one of a kind. You can't buy it anywhere. I'm just kidding. It's actually sold in stores. All right, here. The memes, if Nate was here, he'd probably choose that one. That's just good art, you know, which appeals to me. That, I don't even know. What, is that the lizard? Is that something like a lizard? I don't know. Okay. I kind of get that one. I believe Meme Lord, shout out to Gerby Baby Food. You know what? I think I'm going to go with, is it like Jesse's thing in the background thing? Someone's holding that. You know what? Cats has the best art by far. So I think I'm going to go with Cats. Yes. There we go. Oh, man. You can have the Rainer, actually. Well, I'll hold the Rainer thing up, I suppose. Look how beautiful it is. And then our signatures. Rifkin signature is amazing. So, but yeah, C1, the Rainer figurine. So thank you so much, everyone, of the fans that came out, to everyone who drew a cheerful. And I think we got Jesse here now. So, yeah.
So how's everything going? Have a nice day today?
Yeah. It was okay. Like I cast some StarCraft earlier, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think so too. You know, a little sad about Neeb, but I thought it was a great series. I thought the whole tournament was awesome. It's great to see Neeb make the finals. And now I'm a little interested in another challenge.
Oh yeah, wait a second.
Hoping it's going to go a little bit better than yesterday's matches, but I think we might pick a few maps that I've actually played before, hopefully.
Have you played any of the maps from 2011?
I'd say ladder maps, like North American.
I have.
Yeah.
Just choose those.
Metalopolis, something.
Like,
I don't know.
Choose one of the backdoor rocks. You have no idea. It'd be great.
Yeah. So I think me and Riff are going to play a best 2 out of 3. In the pre-show yesterday, we actually talked a little bit about this, but we've played before. We had a 2 out of 3, and I kind of got destroyed. But that was back when I was plat. I was a scrub then. And I'm really excited.
All right, well, before we get into that, guys, we're going to go to a small break. So thank you for watching the Ting Open. I hope you enjoyed it. And only because I've got the microphone, let's get ready to rumble!
You're going down.